Here we
We are
go.
live.
Got it. Okay, we are live. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Artist Archives. So my name is Nikki, and this is Ling. Ling, say hey.
Hello.
And we have a really exciting video today. I think it's going to be quite varied, but
Mm,
one of the main things I wanted to do was to do a cover reveal
mm,
for my memoir, And the Truth Shall Set You Free. And then we're also just in general going to have a discussion around the creative process around designing the cover. So Ling designed the cover. So we're going to do a cover reveal. Then we're going to look through because we've actually saved all the different versions
mm.
of what this book cover has looked like, and it's changed a lot over the time we've been working on it. So we're going to just have a chat around creative decisions, but then also a mental health chat as well, because
Yeah, yeah.
the theme of the book, we both come at mental health from different perspectives and backgrounds and cultures. So I
hmm
think it's going to be a really rich conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. How are you doing though?
Good, good. So basically right now, what time is it? It's 9 p.m. in Singapore. And I was
Mm,
thinking, so Nikki's basically, texted me saying, can we actually record this? And I was like, yes. So I've set aside the time. I think that this is going to be a really interesting and really important chat, I guess,
yeah,
to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about. Also across seas and time zones. So hey,
Literally that.
something
Also,
fun.
I'm wondering, is it really useful to, because the viewers know about me, they've heard enough about me. Do you want to say a little bit about you, like what you're doing, what you're studying at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Ling. I use Sabrina, but Nikki knows me as Ling or Lingy Fish. So we've been
Yes.
friends since uni. That was like ages ago now. I think it's about 8 years now, 8 years ago.
Wow.
And I live in Singapore. I am Singaporean Chinese, right? What I'm currently doing is I'm a tutor. So I teach English in Singapore. I don't want to be a tutor all my life. So basically, I've decided to do a part-time degree in counseling.
Mm,
And it's been really, really fun and fruitful and meaningful.
great.
It's a lot of essay writing, but I mean, to learn about the different theories is really quite interesting. And I hope to go into addictions counseling in the future. That was something
Mm,
I also struggled with, right? So yeah, and I think this topic is actually a huge one in the mental health community. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So exciting. Yeah, lots in there. We're gonna have lots to chat about. And I was trying to think of there was something that came to mind as you were speaking. Oh, I was just gonna mention that you have a ton of essays and all of that on right now.
Right,
So thank you
yeah.
for making the time.
No problem.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to start with a cover reveal. I'm going to edit it into this video. So just pretend it's here. Here's the cover reveal.
Ooh.
So exciting. I love the cover. I think it's so stunning. It's so vibrant. It's just, I think, really eye-catching.
Mm,
And actually, when I approached you to design the cover, you hadn't designed a front cover before, had you?
no, never. I mean,
No.
I like to do art here and there, a bit of
Yeah.
painting, but I'm not
Such a
very good
talented
at
artist.
yeah, I'm not I hadn't been practicing a lot on Procreate on the
Sure.
iPad. I'm
Sure.
not very like techie kind of
More like the
person.
digital art side
Yeah,
is different, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So,
But such a talented artist. And whenever I saw you draw, I was like, whew, I was like, this girl, please design my cover for me.
it was a time actually when I was dabbling in prophetic art. And
Mm,
I've been amazed by prophetic
yeah.
art. But the thing is that when you gave me the vision for doing this and then drawing it, and you
Mm,
actually telling me, what you wanted, and I mean,
yeah.
it was just easy to put it to life. I think this kind of image is gonna actually minister and speak to a lot of people at
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so you have seen the cover. So now we're going to work our way back. We're going to work our way back to the very first design that you ever did. And
Oh
I
my
mean, I was looking through
gosh.
these last night, but you probably haven't looked at a lot of these. So
No.
some of these might be a bit of a surprise, which I think will be fun. We're just going to do our natural reactions to it. So let me open up the first one and I'll just share my screen. so that everyone can see, because it has changed over the years. So here we go. Hopefully you can see this. Cover number 1. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's on my other screen.
Amazing. There we go. So this was, I think, the very first design that you ever sent me. As you can see, very different in terms of like color scheme. The title was different actually of the book at this point. The title I was playing around with was Vessel. And that came from this concept of, so in Christianity, there's a concept of us being vessels of God's work. So more the conduits rather than we're not the originators of things, right? So sort of God's spirit speaking through us, but then also vessel is a double meaning of the body, and the book is about sort of body image as well. So that was why the word vessel was the title at first. I did change it in the end. I think I'm really happy with the title change, and I think it's more clear as to what the book is about and the overall message of the book, because I think with vessel, yes, I know all the double meanings behind it, but if you were just scrolling through a bookstore, you wouldn't necessarily go like, oh yes, vessel for God's work, and also vessel is
Yeah,
the body, you know?
yeah.
So but this is where we had the box. So do you want to talk about just sort of like your process designing this cover?
I think it was inspired a lot by kintsugi. I think that's quite obvious, right? The Japanese art of well, at least the process of kintsugi. So
Mm,
we wanted to add a little bit of gold in those well, in the broken bit of this cup or bowl, whatever
yeah.
it is. I don't know what it is. Um and but then we chose to, well, at least I didn't do that. And then this bit, this wispy bit, I don't know.
Mm.
I think I really like drawing flowers. So then I just thought, with whatever comes from this vessel, so going upwards and also
Mm.
downwards. But I realized also this is actually quite, the purple is quite dark.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the mood of this is quite heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think just with the art, well, from the very small knowledge I have of cover design, I'd say like that seems like quite a smart choice because it's guiding readers up to
The
presumably where the
title,
title
yeah.
was, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really cool as well. But I agree. I think one of the things that we moved away from was that darkness,
Mm,
because it felt a bit too dark for this
yeah,
message of
too heavy,
grief and
yeah.
healing. And yeah, but it's really stunning. Could you talk maybe a bit more about the Japanese concept that you were inspired by?
If I'm not wrong, so basically what well, just very brief, like what Japanese people do, at least basically, if you have broken pottery and you want to put it back together again, then they use some sort of like actually like real gold, I think. It's not just
Mm,
glue, right? So basically real gold, and I think like you melt it down and then you piece it together. So then it actually, well, you're trying to restore the broken piece of
yeah,
work, but and you don't hide the, what's the word?
imperfections.
Yeah, you don't hide the imperfections, and
Mm,
basically you see the gold as well running through the thread, and stories come out from it, and the
mm,
work itself is a story in itself. Yeah.
yeah,
So people use it a lot, I guess, as a metaphor and a symbol for
yeah.
brokenness. Yeah.
That's so stunning. Yeah, it's almost like that. It's restored,
Hmm.
but in the restoration, you're almost making it better.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it actually looks better than
Mm,
previous. Yeah.
because it's
Than what
been
it
through
was.
something.
Yeah.
Stunning, amazing. Okay, so that was number 1. So I'm gonna grab up number 2. I reckon you haven't seen this in a long time, so I'm excited to see your reaction. Okay, here is cover number 2. Do you remember this one?
What was I thinking? Okay, to be fair, I really like how the Nicole Aqua stands out.
About which one stands out?
How your name stands out.
Mm,
Only
mm.
because I'm also a bit like biased towards the font.
Okay. She's a font girly.
And not the
It's
green,
cute.
maybe.
This was one of the very earlier ones. And I think it was one that I think you drafted quite quickly, if I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah.
You were
This
just trying to
definitely
get
looks
out a few
really
different
quick.
concepts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I do really like about this as well? is actually the color scheme.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because I will say that something that is quite important in like cover design is that it adheres to this the other covers within that genre, if that makes sense.
Mm,
So like what I noticed when I was looking at a few different sort of like eating disorder memoirs is like, or just sort of maybe self-help mental health books, there's a lot of
I see.
blue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Mental
think
health is a
because
lot of
it means
blue.
like peace and those
Calmness,
kinds
yeah.
of things. I think like this actually taps into that kind of that market, that
I
niche.
see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. What are your thoughts?
Just
On
remember,
something like that?
guys, don't be too judgmental because we had no idea about cover design at all, right? Like zero,
Yeah,
like we didn't
yeah.
exactly do much like market research, like we just came up
Let's
with
do
it.
what we did.
So yeah, we just did what we did. So just remember we're starting from scratch. No, about this one, I don't know. Now to me, it just looks like a tornado.
It does look like a tornado.
It looks a bit
Maybe it was like the
chaotic
tumultuous
actually.
thoughts, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, it's a bit chaotic. But very
Simple though.
simple, very
Very
simple.
simple. Stands out.
Yeah, so we let the words talk for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see this in like um again a sort of like the mental health section
Yeah.
of a bookstore for
Yeah.
sure. Nice and simple. It's giving like the body keeps the score. Like that book
Mm.
title is like the cover is so simple.
Mm. I
Or
haven't
even
read that actually.
I don't have it. I'm reading it at the moment. I was gonna say, or even I'm about to read here, look, When the Body Says No,
Yeah,
which
yeah. A lot
has
of
got
a
a white
lot of
background, very simple
yeah,
leaf.
yeah. A lot of it, like a lot of books basically follow that style now. I guess it's more like it's simple to read, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like here's
So
the information, here you go. But then also with
exactly.
mine, it's more like memoirs, it's more personal narratives. I think we could have more flavor and
Fair enough.
individuality.
Fair enough.
Amazing. Okay, so that was number two. We've really gone on some journeys. I think something that's also important to say is we've been on this journey since 2021,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
2021, because it's been a hot, I mean, we've both got busy lives. So that's part of
Hmm.
it. So like you would send over something, then I might take a while, and then you might
Yeah.
take a while to do another one. Like,
Yeah.
but then also I do think probably just that lack of knowledge of how to even how to give you a brief. Because I didn't really, I think when we started getting a breakthrough was actually during yeah, it would have been 2021,
Mm.
probably to the end of the year where I was suddenly like, oh, I have a really clear idea and sent you, I don't know if you remember, like a document with like all these different images.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And then from then we had that. But so like for me, like I didn't even know how to like give like an illustration brief kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then something I didn't even know was that you need to know the exact page count of
Mm.
your book in order to get the exact dimensions of a cover. That's something that I wasn't sure about. And so back then, like the book wasn't 100% complete.
Yeah.
So we couldn't even get the correct dimensions, which we didn't realize. So you were sending me different versions. And then eventually I was like, oh, this isn't fitting. Oh, it's because we don't have the exact template. So we've sorted that out now, but like
Yeah.
learning curve for sure. For sure. We know for the future. So let's see. Oh, so this one, girl, I love this one. I can't lie. I think it's so cute. Okay.
I'm looking here, by the way, because there's a second screen.
Ah,
Oh,
okay. Do you remember this?
no, I don't remember it. Oh my gosh, like this is
No
so
way.
far back.
No way. No way. This was, I
Oh,
think
I
at the
really
time, this
like
was
the
my
font
favorite one that
though.
you'd sent. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the font is really nice.
It's very, it's kind of see-through a little bit.
Oh wow, I
Got the
actually
wings
really
underneath.
like this. Yeah, I really like
Right?
it.
This is my favorite one at the time that you'd sent over. I was like, oh, this is so stunning.
Yeah, with the wings as well. I was trying to copy off something, yeah, but it's
Mm.
more about eagle's wings, but I don't know if that like resonates completely.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. I guess
because
it's
this
again,
doesn't,
it could be a light symbol of like freedom.
yeah, it doesn't really talk about bulimia.
No,
It doesn't,
it's not super
yeah,
clear.
yeah.
And I do think it's funny because I personally really like the coloring of it.
Mm,
However, again, speaking about the whole like marketing of it, it's probably not the best color.
So
but I
do
like
vibrant
it.
books sell more? Like, do they
I think
sell
it's just
better?
more eye-catching.
Right, fair enough.
There's different forms, I think. But I really like this one. Love the wings. And there is some mention of birds in the book actually towards the
Mm,
end. Yeah, but I really like this. That's so funny that you don't remember it.
no, I don't. The font is nice though. Like, I really like the font.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So guys, this could have almost been the cover. Could have almost
Mm-hmm.
been the cover.
Mm-hmm.
But we did not stop there. We had more drafts. So we
Woof.
had this one. So I've put these in hopefully in order. I think this would have probably come after the last one. So let me show you this one. This one's very different. When you sent this to me, I was quite surprised.
Ah!
I was like, oh, this is so different from everything else you've been sending. So I was like, so we're in our bird era. We're still looking up.
This looks like this looks like oh my gosh, it looks really dark though. It looks like
You
death
know,
is coming round the corner for you in black and yellow and white. It looks like a oh shoot. I mean, it looks like what do you call what's the word like sort of like a pamphlet for a play or something.
so I feel like it looks like a poetry book.
Yeah,
I can see this is a poetry book, right?
yeah, that's
Like a small
very
poetry
dark.
book.
Oh
That was such
no.
a good. She
I
said, "Oh,
wouldn't pick this up. I don't think I picked this up. No, I can
mm,
laugh now because it's my work, but oh the bird looks nice though, but it looks
so funny."
like it's gonna die, so
Oh, because it's going
yeah.
it's like plummeting.
You know, like after a bird hits a window and
Oh,
then down it goes.
that's stop it. I'm actually done. That's
Yeah.
so funny. I actually think it's really cute. Like, I feel like I could use it for something. I don't know.
Yeah, go
I don't
ahead and use it. Go I wouldn't use it.
then
It's just
absolutely. I think it's cute. I feel like it would be such a cute little like poetry cover or something like that. I also think
mm.
something that's kind of nice is that it's just interesting to observe. I think the very first cover you ever sent me had the title on the other side. Because again, it was such a learning
Oh yeah.
curve,
I wasn't thinking.
right?
I wasn't thinking.
And
I
then
just
eventually
went
it was like, oh
boom and
wait,
then
because the
yeah.
blurb has to go on the back and then the cover has to go.
Exactly.
Such a learning
Exactly.
curve.
Some
But I
people
like,
would
you
be
know
like, no,
what?
that's not a learning curve. You would put the thing on the right. Well, hey, doesn't matter. You can just like cut and paste anyway in Procreate, so
Okay.
it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Well,
you
that's cute.
you
But yeah,
can
very
go.
dark.
Yeah,
Get
let's move
some
on. Let's move on.
dark ones.
Gosh.
Oh, so good. Okay, so now here we go. So this is a complete shift. So what I'm going to show you first is actually the sketch you did. So it's not even the cover, but it's a sketch. So we started talking about the birds of paradise.
Oh,
Um, so we were talking about we were talking about I don't even know how we got into this birds of I think it was your idea. Do you remember?
this was very literal. Yeah, very
Yeah.
literal.
So we
So,
found some images of what the bird of paradise looks
yeah.
like. And if I
Yeah.
can find it, I'll try and insert it
An
somewhere.
actual flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this was the flower, but then you incorporated this fork and spoon, which, if you look very closely, like it's remained to the final cover. What was this process like for you?
It's actually quite fun because I was just playing around with shapes.
Mm,
Thinking of how at least or this sort of flower would I've actually forgotten like this like what this flower symbolizes. I think we looked it up actually.
yeah, yeah, we did, yeah.
Um
You sent over the meanings.
yeah. So we actually was really fun like playing around with the fork and spoon. It is literal, but I do think it fits, I guess, the theme.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it was something like twisted, I think, with the fork, but that's not very obvious here.
Oh yes, yeah, true. Yeah,
Mm,
so this was the first sketch that you sent me, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And it was something that was completely different to what we've been
yeah,
looking at before.
yeah,
It had like a really solid concept, right?
yeah.
And then that developed into this.
Is it cold there now?
It's so nice today.
It's warm, is it?
It's so nice today. It was cold last week. It started giving us hints of winter. But yeah. So here's again a little prototype.
I don't know what
We've
I
got
was thinking.
we've got our
What is
title.
going on?
You're so
I
critical of
know, but
yourself.
it's really
I really like
weird.
the cloud background.
That's easy to do, the cloud background, but the font, what
Hmm.
was I thinking in the free as well?
Oh yes.
Gosh.
Yeah, the font isn't quite the one.
Nope, nope, not at all.
But I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And I think the reason we probably didn't stick with this design was again the clarity. We want to make it really clear like what the book is about, right? And so again, for us, it's like we know what the bird of paradise is, but loads of people actually don't know. But it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful, it's strange, it's different. There's also something a bit, this book looks very spiritual, do you not think?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And I was trying to make it like artsy and cool, but I failed. So, but it's
Really?
hey. No, no, I did though. I did. Thank God this is not the final one. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't know where to like put my face.
So
Really?
funny. Should be like, it wasn't me, I didn't design that. What are you talking
No,
about?
no, it's not me.
That's so fun. I mean, I guess the nice thing about how long it's taken us is that there has been a really like organic process.
Yeah, yeah, very experimental.
Yeah,
Very experimental. Out of this world, actually.
that's so funny. And then the one other one I'm going to show you, which is basically, um, actually, I have two things here. Let me show you. So very quickly, this one is going to give you an idea of like what inspired how this developed.
Oh
So
yeah.
there was
Wow. Oh
another
yeah, yeah,
image.
yeah.
So that inspired this kind of
Oh yeah,
glowing
it's actually really nice though.
image.
That
It's really
robin,
cool.
the
And again, more
robin.
spiritual. It feels like fire, like
Yeah.
flame,
Yeah.
which is lovely. And then so that then developed into, and I still have a copy of my book with this cover because I printed it out to see what it looked like. And it's on my bookshelf
Mm.
when I was doing my edit. So this developed into this, which is
It's
the one.
the font that is maybe doesn't suit it.
It's a
But
bit small.
yeah.
Wow. So it's
But
like
this
on the
design does pop, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really cool. I feel like if I pick this up, I'd be like, oh yeah, there's a spiritual element to this book,
Yeah. Maybe
which there.
not the spoon there, but the blue does pop. But I don't know if the
Mm,
spoon would have worked.
yeah, yeah. But it's a really nice cover. And again, we're getting that blue, that sort of calming vibe.
Mm,
Nice, it's nice.
interesting.
I think this was it for a while, actually. And I don't think we made any changes for a really, really long time. Then we had a big change.
Ooh.
We had a big change. And
What?
actually, one of the things that happened between this big change. So now I'm beginning to think maybe we started in 2020, not
Yeah.
2021, because I distinctly remember 2020 lockdown and George Floyd and
Oh.
all the conversations that were going around about race and
Mm.
sharing resources for people to learn about race and these kinds of things. And I was doing a lot of this sort of talking and thinking and pondering and obviously like as a Black woman myself and stuff. And there were chapters in the book already and I haven't changed them. Nor have I added to them, I don't think, since that time. They've been sort of what they are, but specifically about being a Black woman,
Mm.
and specifically about how I felt treated by the health services as a Black woman, but also body image as a Black woman as well. And I think after all these sort of like race conversations, like I think I felt a bit more emboldened and empowered to speak about, like they were already there, it wasn't going to change, but I realized how important it was for me to represent Black women. Because when I tell you the amount of eating disorder memoirs I've read, or like when I look at research or all of this, it's actually almost predominantly about white women. There's not much about Black women, right? So I thought actually it's really powerful to have this memoir also written by a Black woman. So I think that's when
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, oh, I would actually like there to be an element of that on the cover. Like that would be really nice. And so I think that's when I sent you this document, and a lot of them were like art of Black women in some kind of capacity.
Mm.
Um, And then I feel like you took that. And then we got this new idea. And also I was quite inspired by what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? I think I saw an image somewhere of or I got an image of scales
Right.
and words on the scales.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be really cool if we had the word free
Did you
on the
see
scale? So
it?
like,
Did you see like this image,
no,
or
but
was in your head? Like you
I'm
basically
trying
was
to remember what
visualized it.
came first. I
Right,
think
right.
off the top of my head, what I think I saw was somebody standing on scales because I was trying to think about what image could we have on the cover. And I
Yeah.
saw an image of someone standing on scales.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I think maybe what happened was that I then Googled images of people standing on scales.
Mm.
And I think I saw a cover where someone had stood on a scale and the word said, I can't remember what it was, but it said a word. It wasn't like what we did,
It
but
wasn't free.
it wasn't free, but it was some kind of word. And then I was like, oh, what if that was we had free
Yeah.
in the scale? So I think
Yeah.
that's what happened. Like I had an image of someone standing on scales. Then I saw someone with a word. Then I was like, wait, we could do this.
Mm.
If I can find that image, I'll see if I can find it and insert it. So this is kind of what we moved into. And you sent me a sketch, which I really liked. So this was the sketch you sent.
Mm.
Here we go. So standing on the scales, which is like such a huge theme of, of the book. Because I used
I
to be
think it was
obsessed with my scales.
very, yeah, I did it halfway, isn't it? Like because it was hard to I just wanted to send you like a rough draft, I
Yeah,
think. Because then I was
yeah.
busy kind of sketching the words in like you know the
Yeah,
to
yeah.
digitize the words free.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like this concept. And you really liked it as well. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this feels strong. This was really
Yeah.
clear. Like
It is
people can pick up
clear,
and know
you
what
know,
it's
it's
about.
clear. Yeah.
Exactly. Simple, but also clear and can be beautiful as well.
Yeah.
And then you sent me a couple, which I don't have, unfortunately, but there was the cover, one had a light blue background and one had a white background.
Right, right.
And I remember I couldn't decide for ages. And I sent it to a bunch of people being like, which one? And I think most people went for maybe the white one, I think. But that was so hard because I liked both of them. I was like, either one of these could work. And that moves us pretty much to what we have today, which is that for a long time we were blue cover, white cover. And I thought that was going to be it. I was like, it's going to be the blue or the white.
And
That's
then
it.
we go boom.
Listen, I'd rested. I was rested. I was like,
Yeah, I
that's it.
know.
I'm
I
done. Da, da, da.
know.
And then out of nowhere, Ling
It just
messages me.
happens. It just happens. It's just
And she was like, so I know we have this white and this blue, but I was just messing around. And what do you think of this? Sends me this multicolored, like, and I was like, I love it.
mess around all the time.
I was like, I absolutely love it. And honestly, thank God that you did. Like you were messing because we would have left it there, right? It would have
I
just been
think
a plain
so.
white.
I think
That was
so.
kind of it. And so you were like, actually, I've just been playing around and now I have this. And I'll just share this quickly because the one thing that has changed over time is the font
Yeah,
and
I
the
need to
placement.
bump up the resolution, I realize, with that, with the black
Mm-mm.
words now. So we
Yes.
probably have to work on that. Yeah, you changed you added more things, I think, for the back.
Yes, I've changed the blurb.
Yeah, you've added more content.
And more content and made it more story like because I think with
Yeah,
this blurb, if you start it as like you don't know who I am, you don't like why should I read? Now it's given it more of like when you pick up a fiction book and it's like so and so lives here and they're doing this. So we've sort of changed that just to make it more interesting for people, really. But yeah, it was just so funny when you sent me this and you were like, and here's some color. I was like, damn. But I love a pastel, so I'm here for it. And also you can see the fork and the spoon that has been with us.
yeah, it has.
That kept through. And then obviously with the free and the standing on the scales, again, like we do have that representation of like, this is a Black woman's story. So I think there's so many little subtleties
Yeah.
that's really hitting what we want.
Wow. I mean,
It's been a journey.
so
How
different.
do you
I
feel
know.
seeing that?
I feel really happy. I really like the yellow as well on the brown skin. I think it looks really beautiful.
Yes,
So it
yes.
actually really tells people like, look, this is written from a Black person's perspective. And I think
Mm.
that's going to resonate with lots of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
needs to be
think so.
more,
Yeah.
to be honest.
How
More
did
books
you
out
work
there.
that element in?
Um, of the, oh, as in literally in the book.
Yeah, the angle.
Oh, because it's so like so integral to my experience.
Mm,
Because actually in the first few chapters I talk about growing up, and how like I felt like my body was perceived. And then part of that is my race. Like the way I was treated was dependent on the color of my skin in
mm,
some circumstances, right? So
mm-hmm.
then I think in a really subtle, not so subtle way, but a way that you don't really realize as a kid, that impacts your sense of self, your sense of image, your sense of how people are looking at you, and then your own body image, really.
Yeah.
So that's I talk about that. Um, and then what else? There's another chapter where I'm talking about um oh, I'm trying to remember now, but that's like the main one I would say. It's kind of like how people perceived me affected how I perceived myself. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And there's all sorts of also I think with my culture as well, it's more accepted to talk about race. I feel like it's similar in like Asian, sorry, not about race, about like body.
Yeah.
In a way, like maybe like in Western society, it's like, oh, you don't mention a woman's weight. Da, 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 da. Like now my mum would literally just be like, you're gaining weight. Or my dad would be like, you're gaining weight.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just
No,
part of,
same here, same here.
it's not like a taboo thing.
Yeah.
Um, but then unfortunately that wasn't very helpful when I had any
You know,
children.
and
So.
to be fair, right? In some families, they do banter about weight. And I
Mm,
keep thinking about this because in my head, I'm thinking, how come I can't be like that? And you know what? I'm just
mm.
not like that. I'm just not.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why like I still struggle with body image issues even till
Mm,
now.
mm,
But the one thing I was at least like telling a friend, the one goal I want to get right this year is to get stronger. So that's why
mm.
like weight training is empowering,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Nice.
You know, sometimes when you go for a run, it's just sometimes it's just clear your mind.
Mm,
And you
mm, mm.
definitely, if you feel healthy, right, it makes such a difference. And like my energy
Yeah.
levels have like, gone way up.
Preach.
Um, and also this is the body that is, in the future is gonna give birth, right, to
Mm,
babies. And then you're gonna add on more weight next time. Does that mean, I don't know, you're not a good mom? Like, does that
right.
mean, you should like not honor your body? No, I don't think so. No.
100%. Like, oh, you know what? I was listening to this podcast yesterday, and it was more around like body health in terms of like checks, like basically urging women to like make sure you're checking your body, being in tune with your body so that whatever, if you need to go to a doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but something that was really interesting about it was they were saying about like how what are you doing for your body that is for your health and not for the aesthetic,
Mm, mm,
right? Because we kind of as women sometimes get tricked into thinking they're the same thing. So like all these influencers are being like, oh my gosh, and I have this and I have this rosy glow, and you go, oh my gosh, I want this rosy glow, let me go buy these like products, not knowing some of these products are actually toxic for your skin. So like, is it worth it to, yes, you've got the aesthetic look, but buying things based on actually are they healthy for you,
yeah.
not just
Yeah.
are they looking good. And
No,
it's like that's actually
absolutely.
such a good point because it's so
It's
easy to
true.
get sucked into
It is.
whatever. I need to get this new hair extension. Meanwhile, the hair extension has toxic chemicals in it and
Yeah.
it's like slowly poisoning your body.
Yeah.
You want to look good. It's like, especially as women, and how the health care industry as well isn't really catered very well to us. It's like we actually have to take some of these things into our hands. At the portion of the video, maybe, well, we were thinking about maybe just having a general chat around just health in general. Questions for you, questions for me. How do you feel? Do you have any questions?
I just want to say, I think we've like come a long way. I think
Mm,
also with the fact that, I mean, we're older now, and in hindsight, right, this is the kind of content or the kind of book that I hope my daughter will read in the future, right? If
Mm.
you're of a also if you're of a different race, I think that'd be quite amazing. Yeah, so I'm actually really looking forward to it. I haven't read the whole thing myself as well. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
yeah,
I'm gonna go slow. And I think for the people around you, it's gonna be quite an intimate look into like your life and how you think. Well, no,
yeah,
which is it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be like knowing you
yeah,
at a different level. Because
yeah,
like, you know, like I don't have friends like who write that often, like especially like books, right? So, and this is a
yeah,
memoir.
yeah.
Um, I think it's going to speak to me. So when I
Mm,
was younger, I struggled as well quite a lot with this bulimia. A bit hard
mm,
as well to say it.
yeah.
I don't think it was full blown.
Mhm.
But I do remember when my cousin said to me, she actually caught me one day because
Mm,
you know, I was in the loo and she said to me, I heard what happened. Um, you know, doing it once is enough. Like that's already enough.
right.
And that was the one thing that actually steered me away
Mm,
from that. For other people, obviously the stories are different, but that one
mm,
thing did actually at least pull me away from that.
yeah,
I wasn't at the age though where I was actually really thinking about these issues. Not till, you know, we went when we got to uni and then we talked about it and we thought a
yeah,
lot more about it.
yeah,
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 so that was my
yeah.
experience. Hmm.
Thank God that your cousin
Mm.
like caught
Yes,
you in a way, because
yes. It was really
I,
embarrassing.
I was gonna say, so like in terms of you stopping, did that come from a place of, okay, what she said has made me think and reflect and go, okay, this isn't healthy, or was it more of a place of like, I feel shamed?
I felt shamed. I honestly, I did feel
Mm,
ashamed. And then I realized, at least like as I, you know, went on to kind of like I didn't even eat healthier after that. I don't think so. But it's
yeah.
only honestly only with age then you start learning about lots of different viewpoints, what to do, and then, you know,
Mm,
going out to actually exercise. Because growing up I really hated
sure.
exercise. I love food. I still love food. And what
Yeah,
I've learned at this age is food is not my enemy. Food nourishes me and
yeah.
makes me very happy. Yeah.
Preach,
Yeah.
preach. So true. And you don't, yeah, you don't know things at that age. Like, how old were you at that age?
Ooh, I think I was like, I think 16 or 17. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I had, and like this is a lot in the book as well. I think something that will be quite interesting for people to read, because I've changed a lot since the events of that book as well. But the naivety I had sort of going down that sort of path
yeah,
is crazy. Like looking back at it, I'm like, girl, like I would never do any of those things now. But it's with the benefit of hindsight of going, oh, if you do
100%.
this
Yeah.
behavior, it leads to this behavior and leads to this. And before you know it, you're like addicted, like it's a
Yeah.
disease, you know.
It is an addiction, isn't it? It
But
is.
at the time,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm just, I'm just restricting my meal here and there. Da, 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 da. And I think that's what a lot of people do. And unfortunately, I feel like we live in a world where these behaviors are almost marketed as healthy.
that's right. Yeah.
Like I don't even engage in any of this whole like I find it really cringe when people are like, I've got to slim down for summer. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, like be healthy in your body as it
Yeah.
is all year round.
Yes.
Because this whole kind of crash dieting that we've made popular
Mm.
is really toxic. It's really
It's really
unhealthy.
bad.
And some people can do it.
I was
Mm.
on the Atkins diet when I was 12, sorry, no, like
Yeah,
13 to 14 years
yeah,
old,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
I actually developed gout from that.
yeah.
Not everyone is meant to do this kind of diet, you know. I mean,
Mm,
people are really like the people who are like doing, I don't know, Lion's diet and everything.
mm.
But it could actually lead you to developing a chronic
Long-term.
illness.
Yeah,
Obviously
yeah,
it depends on your genes, right? And
sure.
everything. But I didn't know. And wow, the first time I got a gout flare, I was like, my doctor actually scolded me. Said, you know, Ling, like you are not supposed to go on these kinds of diets. You got to stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, okay, yes, scolded you, but then what is the pressure on a 12-year-old girl that makes her think, let me go on this extreme diet? You know?
Mother, it's from
The,
mother.
that's a
Uh-huh.
whole
Uh-huh.
that's a whole conversation.
It is. But the thing about my mom was that she eats healthy, and
Mhm.
she liked to exercise, and she's quite active. I wasn't though. So then as you grow older, you realize, I mean, yeah, obviously it's a shaming kind of like Asian culture kind of thing, right?
Mm.
But then when I look at her lifestyle now, put aside the comments and everything, I'm like, oh,
Sure.
actually, you are really healthy.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's good to learn from that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just more
Yeah,
like how it's communicated.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. Gosh. Yeah, so interesting. And I feel, yeah, these conversations are so valuable because I don't see enough of them. I think more now
Yeah,
is more stuff.
way
I
more
think,
now.
yeah, when we were at uni, I feel like I was really struggling to find helpful resources, especially as like a Black girl. And that's another, I also speak very briefly about like how at my school, because my school wasn't very diverse at all, there were no there's no person of authority who really reflected my identity. So like,
Mm,
we'd have like maybe a school counselor, school nurse, these
mm,
kinds of things, but not really from any other background other than a Caucasian background. So
mm.
then there were a few things that I was going through that felt a bit more cultural, that I felt like, oh, I can't really express these things because you're not going to get it, or da da da. Where
Yeah,
it's like, ideally you want people from all different backgrounds that just reflect the makeup of the school,
yeah.
so that people, whatever, with whatever they need, they can go and speak to people. But that wasn't a thing back then.
Mm,
It wasn't a thing.
mm.
But yeah.
I think something I learned is as you grow older, people pick factors to compare others with. Is, I
Mm,
mean, the job that you have, the money that you
mm,
have, how good you look, at what
mm,
age, right? All
mm,
these things. And you realize, oh my gosh, like people just like just live. Just live. You don't
mm.
need to you don't need to comment. You don't need to live for the approval of someone else, really. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and you start
Yeah.
by not commenting, I guess, on
Yes.
oh yeah, the things you don't comment on, I think. I'm
Yeah.
learning that at least, yeah. From
Yeah, definitely.
from, many lessons. Yeah. Yeah.
So true. Because you never know what someone's like going through as well.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, I think my question for you, how does it feel that you're going to have like your design on a published book
I'm
in a
actually
month?
really
A
like
month?
I'm actually really honored. I think there's so many things, so many more things I could tweak. If I could actually like learn from someone who does cover design, I'd be really happy to. So yeah,
Right.
I'm happy to learn the ropes. But this is a first. And I
Yeah.
think I'm banking on it being eye-catching. I think so.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I just let the words speak really. And I think whoever is in a way like fated to pick up the
Mm,
book, they will
mm.
be they will be blessed. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be good. I
You know
think
what? I
some
think
of
this
my
is
friends would like it as well. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think this is a really good segue into just a quick chat about perfectionism, because we were talking about this before we started recording. And what you said there was, there's so many things I could tweak, but this
Enough
is
is
it.
enough sometimes. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. And I'm also at that point in the book where I was saying, oh, similarly, oh, there's like loads of things with the book where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I could tweak this expression slightly. I could do this, Evers, I could change this. And it's like, at some point, you have to take a step back and go,
That's right.
it's actually not going to be perfect. And I
Yeah.
think I've really struggled with that because
Yeah.
I would have never called myself a perfectionist, right? Like,
Mm.
never. I'm a very type B personality. I'm not a type A. I don't need everything to be da da da
You're
da.
really on the ball though with so many things. Yeah.
I'm I'm
Active.
achievement oriented.
Yes, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
you
I'm
are.
goal
Yes.
oriented. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I've got this goal, let's go for it. But I don't think I do it in a very rigid way. I can
Right.
be a bit free flowing.
Yes.
So whenever people would use the word perfectionism, oh, I wouldn't read an article about perfectionism or a book about perfection because I'm
No.
reading self-help and like development, right?
Yeah.
But anything around that topic, it's like, oh, that's not me. Like, if anything, I need to get more da da da, But I've realized that there's different types of perfectionism, which is what people don't speak about.
Mm.
So it's not just, oh, it's almost the procrastination element
Yes.
of
Yeah.
I'll hold this back. I won't release this yet. I
Yes.
won't go for this thing yet. I won't send this email yet because I haven't found the perfect way to express what I want to.
Yeah.
I do that. So that's the kind of perfectionism that I know. Not that everything has to be neat and tidy and like I have to present myself in a certain way.
Yeah.
More that like, I can procrastinate. And if I look at the deeper reason behind it, it's like, oh, it's because I'm worried that it's going to be judged in a certain way because I'm not
And it has to
perfect.
be good. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
And it's like, actually, no, it just needs to be really good. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know? So even,
Yeah.
yeah, this book, I'm like, oh, yeah, this definitely like, I mean, if I wanted to write for another 6 years, I'm sure I could think. The thing with like editing a book as well is that new ideas are coming to my mind. I'm wiser in terms of like I'm older and I see things slightly different ways. So it's like, oh, I could now talk about the intersection between body image and AI technology. Like this things are
Yeah.
developing,
Oh,
you know?
wow. Yeah.
But at some point you have to be like, that is how it is. And then even I think with a memoir, it's been funny because there are certain things that I'm writing from my perspective as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17, where I kind of read it and a part of my perfectionist goes, oh, I hope people don't think that's how I think now. And it's like, Nikki, you actually just have to be honest to how you felt as a 15-year-old,
Yes. Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
as a 15-year-old, you had an imperfect understanding of what body was.
That's right. Yeah.
And you need to go away and take that and apply that to your life. But I'm just being honest about, as a 14-year-old, this is what I thought a sexy woman was.
Yes. Yeah.
As a 14-year-old, this was my understanding of race. As
Yeah.
an 18-year-old, just reading Black writers for the first time, this was my understanding of being a Black woman. Do you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
allowing that to be in its frozen sort of relic of time
Yeah.
uh, has been a challenge, but kind of like a humbling one because it's like you have to acknowledge your growth. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I think so. The fact that, I mean, the fact that you have an actual book to kind of honor the journey, I think
Wild.
it's really, really special. Yeah.
Wild. And thank you so much for being on this journey with me.
Yeah, of
Honestly,
course.
thank you so much for your patience as well, because it's been a long journey. It's been a very
Oh,
long
no
journey, but
problem.
it's been so
It's
like
life.
encouraging.
Life gets in the way,
Life
ebbs and
happens.
flows, literally. So,
Yeah, yeah. But we've been
yeah.
really flexible with it and it's been great. And
I
God is
think
good.
I've got a lot of like peace with with even with the cover as it is now. Just, let the story speak for itself, I think. It might not
Yeah.
even well, it might not even be how do I say it? It might not even bank on the book cover. It's just the story itself.
Right, right. But I
Yeah.
think the cover's also going to draw people. The cover's also good. I think I love the cover. I think it's so stunning. And I actually think we've gone with something slightly counter industry.
Mm.
It's brighter than a lot of covers, I think.
Yes, it is.
But I love it and it's unique. And I also feel like it's quite me,
Yeah.
as it should be, because it's a memoir. So.
I hope it will be sold in not just well, not just like obviously in
Mm,
the normal marketplace, but I hope in
mm,
churches. I hope in like
yeah.
community
Christian bookstores as
centers,
well, I've been thinking about
Christian
recently.
bookstores. I
Mm.
think at camps, for girls
Mm.
as well. I think it's
Yeah,
going to be a huge one.
yeah. There is that specific audience where I'm like, okay, now starting to think about, okay, how can I reach young women
Yes,
who are
yes,
struggling with body image, 100%.
yes.
And more people than I thought, because people have come up to me since talking about this book and they're like, oh, I'm going to buy multiple copies because I struggle with this. And I'm like, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know. So I'm excited.
Think I think it's gonna be great.
Amen to that.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like that's a good place to wrap up our conversation. Just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has tuned in. And Leland, it's up to you. Do you want to leave? Is there anywhere that people, you never know, people might be coming for more cover designs or they might want to check out your work? And yeah, is there anywhere that people can follow you?
Ooh. No, I'm not exactly like, it's just I guess the art I do is just more for me. But no, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Maybe next
Fair enough.
time. You never
Yeah,
know.
maybe
We'll
okay.
see.
Cool, cool, cool. Keep an eye out. Amazing. Oh, bye everyone.
Bye.